money.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hello.
I forgot to move my chair out of frame.
You should move your chair out of frame. That's the third chair for our audience members. Close, close, better. Huzzah. Does
Hi
the work.
everybody.
Does the work.
It's Mom and Dad. Hi y'all.
Hello, son. Welcome to the stream. Or darling.
How you doing,
Pronouns.
Trip?
Hi, Trip. I don't know if you and I have met yet.
Yeah, you have.
Have we?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
many. My memory being Swiss cheese.
It's okay. This is what... Trip, remind us...
Awesome.
I'm son. Alright, cool.
Hello, son.
Which personality are you tonight?
Good to see you, darling.
It's good to see you. Good to see you all. Thank you for popping in again. And look at this. Now, we're doing it a little bit differently here tonight as far as angles are concerned. And obviously, we weren't able to do all the things that we wanted to for the band tonight because, you know, Pop had to stop tonight because his guts were telling him to stop.
Pop stopped.
Yeah, he stopped. So, so this is Cameron tonight.
He listened.
Right on.
Hi, Cameron. Willkommen.
Willkommen. Hopefully everything looks
Bien-
good on all of your
bienvenidos
ends tonight. It's
de
wonderful to see you.
la Vivo streamer. I don't know how to say that in Spanish, but today
We're just gonna hang out and talk about ADHD because
it's
that's
been
a thing.
it's been a thing.
It's been
It's been
a
thing for the
And also-
last while.
Cam, let me know as you're all hanging out tonight. Just go ahead and give me some feedback in chat and let me know if there's a couple things that I could adjust volume wise. You know, it's always nice to know so I can really dial some things in. So just let me know, okay?
Your feedback is critical. As they say in Spanish, muy importante. Mucho necesito. Mucho needs. Many needs.
All the needs. All the knees. Speaking of needs.
Needs. He needs to adjust that light. Just a scoot.
There we go.
Oh.
That might be a little bit better.
Un poco mejor.
Actually, that one might. Yeah. I see.
He's.
I'm doing the thing.
I'm
doing the thing.
I have been keeping up on my Duolingo. Thank you for noticing. I also have been going to a Spanish class that's being offered at my library. And it's just like super basic. Kind of like today we talked about the days of the week and we talked about the different verbs for to be. It's like really, really basic. And so Duolingo has really helped with my just
to
basic,
be or not to be?
Basic vocabulary. Is estar, está o no está? ¿Está una hombre? Sí. Tú estás una hombre. Uno
when we
hombre.
went to Costa Rica, I basically leaned on her a little bit.
As if I had enough actual Spanish to get through it.
Well, I have zero Spanish. I picked it up. I picked it up because I understand.
0.02% Spanish.
I understand linguistics.
Yes.
But I don't have any background in Spanish.
Yeah, speaking of ADHD, keeping up on Duolingo, they've got it figured out because they'll give you the fucking little notifications where it's like, hey, we miss you, come back. And I'm like,
please do this
fine,
more. No,
well,
but I'm busy.
It's ironic because there's a character who shares the name of one of my annoying coworkers. And I always get really mad when she's like, hey, missed you. And I'm like, no. No, go away. I don't like you. You're sarcastic. I don't like it. But anyway, it's a challenge. Hello, Martin. Willkommen.
What up, Martin? How you doing, buddy? I'm sorry we weren't able to do any of the band stream stuff tonight. Jeff is not feeling well, and that's understandable. You know, I get it.
I see a potential problem with that.
I absolutely get it. What you looking at?
Can't read the chat.
Oh, well, see, all right, speaking of ADHD.
I have to be able to read the chat.
I mean, you know, when it comes down to it, you
ADHD.
could probably just.
It's fine.
Well, then now the problem arises
no,
that
now we
if
can't
somebody
leave.
has to go out the door,
They'll have
I
to.
did insulate the window.
So we can't
All
go out
the lights
window.
are on, and that computer's on.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
Oh, well.
Your chair is just right over there by the door. It's actually in a better place because it's facing us now, so we can go, hi, guys.
Yeah,
Granted,
but
it's
now
not-
I can't put my feet up on the chair.
Well, that was an inherent flaw in your...
In the designs, hey, we're working on it, okay? I mean, it is...
We're making it work. There's more balls in places, but they're downstairs also.
All right, TOS.
Ball.
What, singular ball.
Ball. There's a ball. There's another ball in a place that is not attached to a human in any way, shape, or form. It's downstairs by my desk because it's my office chair.
I'm
It's
split in
my office
half?
chair. I said not attached to a human, Peter. Not attached.
Well,
No.
yeah. Obviously, if there's a separation of the balls, plural,
Mucho
then
corte.
one of them would not be attached to a
Where's the
human.
ball? Hold on. Learning opportunity.
Coffee
What is
table,
this-
trip.
What is this,
well,
what is
this
the Spanish
is.
word for ball?
Oh my goodness. So trip.
Pelota.
The
Dos
the thing
pelotas.
is, the reason this room looks so big is because I have a wide angle lens. It takes me literally a step and a half to get to that. If I was to get up off this couch and just reach out an arm's length, I would be touching the lens. It's not that big a room.
From
We
me-
already
from my
tried with
head
something here.
to the lens is about 8 feet.
It was pretty comfy, actually, having that setup. We're working on different things to make this a little bit more cozy and comfy. But, yeah, a coffee table, I don't really know if that's going to work in this room. And that's completely fine because I don't necessarily need it all the time.
Dos pelotas.
So there's that.
Uno arriba, uno debajo. One above, one below. Because I can't remember how to say upstairs.
As above, so below.
Anyway, Martin, and Cam, and everyone else who's lurking. There's no room in the closet. The closet is full of things.
Yeah, it's full of stuff that is not ours. The only thing that I put in there that did belong to me, aside from the cables to hide them, was the softbox that is now over in the band practice space. That's it. Like, that is full of
I would
stuff
love
that
to
does not
figure
belong to
out
us.
How to install something into the floor. This is not our house though, so we can't put things in the floor. But anyway, we're hanging out tonight and talking about some ADHD stress response shit, kind of a decompression, venting kind of thing, because I have been struggling quite a bit with mine, my undiagnosed version of it, which is very different than Peter's, and he's officially diagnosed with it. And we're both in kind of a job limbo space, and it's very stressful, and we're kind of observing each other's stress responses in a very objective kind of way.
And it's, when it comes down to it, it is definitely one of those things that we need to recognize and analyze and slow down a bit on, because with us being in our age, or in our generation, it would have been so much nicer to have the tools at our disposal at such a younger age. So we're working on how we have developed the specific types of anxiety that we've had for so many years, and so many stress points and things that really, really hit us hard in the wrong ways that make us just shut down. And we don't really know. I'm starting to get a better handle on it now that basically because she told me, hey, go check out some therapy. And I was like, all right, and maybe I should.
It started with therapy related to, like, the amount of losses that we've had collectively in our lives due to the suicides that we have in our community, and the fact that Peter has a bunch of personal loss in his life. And I was like, hey, I feel like there are some walls between us. Maybe therapy? And it went in a direction I didn't expect, with you figuring all of that out, which is a great thing. Like, overall, it's a positive thing. It's been really challenging, though.
Fuck, and that's actually another ADHD thing, too. So when you see us do all this shit on stream for the band as well, it's like the whole to be fair thing. Like, any of those moments that pop up where we say the same thing or we relate it to something immediately and then we just can pop into it. Like the whole to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. Those little things are not as uncommon as you think. And it's weird because we've been so pressured into, you need to fit into this box. And the box doesn't allow us to...
I don't fit in no box.
Yeah, fuck the box.
The box is really uncomfortable. It rubs on my skin wrong.
Like, when I say word association all the time, these are things that I've been really recognizing, and I've been actually getting so much more calm in myself over the past year. The year alone of this establishment of this diagnosis, I can understand where there's so many things where I say word association, like Dirty Electric, for example. No wonder Ben has those kinds of word associations where you can combine words that make sense and they're funny as hell. Those are the same kinds of things that I do. But it comes back to, we create a community based off of the fact that we live with people. And all of that goes back even further to the idea of neurodivergency being a new term for neurotypical. Because the neurotypical has been pressured on us to do something else. And when we find people that actually work within that group, that mindset, and somebody says one thing, it's just like a bird that's actually calling out sounds.
Interesting.
Like recreating the same sounds that you hear all the time. What up, Seamus? Shameless Seamus. Give him the hug.
It's kind of awkward, but yeah.
Good old awkward hug. Hey, what up, Seamus?
Darling.
It's just trying to break out of that mindset. And it has been, like, especially when it comes down to the idea of the ADHD stressing points of, it's not necessarily, I need you to do this right now mindset. Like, because I can do this right now. But if you tell me to do that, then I'm going to shut down. Because I would like to have that question. It's like, can you do this? It's like, oh, probably.
Probably,
That's,
easily, absolutely.
like, that creates a challenge. You know what I mean? That's, we were talking about this last week. And it's not, I need you to do this. We are not in that structured mindset thing. I understand how that works because I have been asked the question. It's like, can you do this? Yeah, throw me to the wolves. Let me see. If I can't, then I'm not capable, and I'll let you know. But don't tell me to do this because I don't know if I can. Like, ask me the question and let me figure it out and give me the chance to just go ahead and figure it out first.
Cam, you describe a situation that's very, very similar to my nephew. He's just recently been diagnosed as level 1 autistic, and he is very spicy, very neurospicy.
This is part of the conversation that we were having last week that leads into this.
If you're willing to share a little bit about that experience, I'd be very intrigued because every time, like, they come over to our house on... Hi, Shannon. I'd be
Love
very
you.
curious to hear about your experience because he's 8 and cannot articulate himself well in terms of what his brain is doing, and the fact that we're spicy, his mother is also spicy, and his sister's probably spicy. We're all just trying to figure out how to work together, and he has some emotional flaring, I would call it, where, you know, like, my niece and my nephew were playing chess yesterday, and the 10-year-old was kicking the 8-year-old's ass, and she got him to a checkmate. Like, he was down to his king and his pawn, and he recognized that he was losing, and he went, I can't do anything, and got up, stormed to the living room. I caught him for a second, kind of went, hey, just for a second, and then I let him go. And then we checked in a little bit later, and I was going to see if he wanted to come shred some cheese because we were having tacos. And I went over and talked to him, and I was just like, hey, I have a task for you. Are you ready? Can you come and help me? And he said, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. And that was a big moment where he recognized that he needed a little bit more time to finish simmering back down. And then he got up and went back into the chess room and started, like, figuring out what was happening, and everything was fine after that.
Yeah, it took a couple minutes there, but it was one of those moments that I recognized because that conversation started with us actually bringing that into light.
Yeah, the specific notion of I always say I need you to do this thing. Yeah, I need you to do this thing. Rather than saying that, hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Because
Just
then they
start
go,
with that.
what? And I go, can you do this? And can we see how fast you can do it? And that's a
Setting
totally
a time
different
challenge and creating
Totally
those
different thing.
situations where it becomes, for us specifically with being on the spectrum and having ADHD and having those moments where we are very capable of doing so many different things. But, and same thing, Shan, you and I have talked about this plenty of times
no.
with streams. Like, my nephew from my dad's side also is Asperger's, and he is
Oh, yeah.
the coolest because he can figure out how to be presentable in a fucking heartbeat. And he just knows exactly what he needs to do because he's already previously analyzed every single notion of this specific situation that he might be going into. Wonderful. And it's just, you have to present the vocabulary behind that.
Hi, Prophecy.
What's Stefano? But it comes down to the verbiage. And I've recognized that very quickly over the past year. It just happens.
Can you think of a specific... There have been a few recently where I go to tell you to do something or ask you to do something and you're just like, no. Or I can think of one for me.
Did I eat?
Yes,
but no.
I
have things to do. Hold on a second. Like literally as we were setting up stream.
Well,
that is
I didn't
a perfect
say
example.
I didn't say, hey, come eat this, or you need to eat. I said, did you eat?
Yeah.
And you didn't respond initially because you went, no, I have too many things going. I gotta do this thing and this thing and this thing for the stream setup. And it was like, asked him later, hello. Asked him later, like, hey, did you eat? You didn't respond to me. And he's like, no. I was like, well, there's a half a bowl of something waiting downstairs so you can go eat. Because I know with your ADHD, you're not going to eat. I haven't seen you eat. You probably didn't eat. So,
yeah, and I definitely didn't. But,
oh, man, my ear is driving me crazy. I made my ear angry. Q-tips are not
at this
the right
point,
thing.
all right, I gotta pull up chat because those colors are not coming through on screen as well as I can. So I apologize for not being able to read the names. Give me one moment and I will pull that up so I can actually see what's going on in chat.
Urban Wildcat has joined the chat. Let's see. It's weird.
Hello, Wildcat. Welcome in. Welcome in. Wonderful to see you.
Oh, wow. Okay, Cam. That's... Yup.
There we go. Wildcat. It seems like I can't remember if this... I did not see a notification come through here that this might be your first time in chat, but...
Welcome.
Welcome in, and if it is, forgive us for not remembering, because as we're talking about ADHD...
I'm really bad at remembering names.
But it is your first time. Well, welcome in. Welcome in. If you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, whatever you would like to be called, as far as what you would like for your, if you would like us to talk to you by your full name or a nickname, what are your pronouns so we can be respectful for you in chat. Give us a little bit about yourself. If you don't mind telling us where you're from, give us a little bit of history on you. We're always willing to learn so we can get more of the community base in here.
By the by.
This is definitely one of the first times that we've been doing this in the past few months as far as the couch sessions are concerned.
It's 2024!
So it's wonderful to meet y'all, and thank you for coming in.
Urban,
Appreciate
in case you haven't met us before.
Agnes, oh my god, haven't seen you in forever.
This is Peter.
Agnes, previous Linnea.
Oh, hi.
Agnes, thank you so much for coming in. It's so good to see you.
This is Peter, and I'm Madeline, and we are house spouses. And today we're talking about neurospiciness because we've got some shit going on.
Kind of get it all.
I don't know.
What up, Mike? What up, buddy?
Mike, hi. I've been thinking about you a lot
dude,
today.
It's always
Hi.
cool. You never have to ask, man. You're always welcome. It doesn't even matter.
Get in here,
Come
boy.
on, dude.
I was
You
gonna
already
text
know.
you.
You
It's
already
been kind
know.
of a day, though. Welcome. Yes. I remember that. Cam, I remember that from, oh gosh, whenever that was. So yes, thank you for the reminder though. And if there's anything I need to know about that, I am very undereducated in that particular avenue. So please, like, whatever you want to say or not say is totally fine.
Yeah, we're
here.
never going to pressure anybody on any questions.
We're just here to
Yeah.
figure a shit out, man.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And there's no pressure anytime. Like, anytime you want to come in. Stefano, thank you so much.
Yay!
Agnes has been a part of this community for, God, oh my God.
Always.
Yeah,
Almost always.
pretty much almost since day one, dude. Like, when it comes down to it, Agnes has been around here for forever. And it's good to see you. Like, it really is. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well.
trying.
And Agnes, you gotta catch us up
trying.
on what's going on in your world too, honey. Like, really, I'm so excited for what you're doing, and just being more forthright and present with yourself. Like, I know that we keep on coming back into this community between you and Jules and everybody else, just trying to find something and grasping at straws. And I know that it can be tough. We're always struggling here.
Mr.
But
Wild.
It's good to see you.
So you're in good company, Mr. Wild.
In the Highlands of Scotland. Hell yeah.
Peter and I had a Star Wars themed wedding because that's that I was like, on top of some beef that I have with just getting married in general. It's like I knew that I wanted to be with Peter for as long as we're together forever. And I was like, well, what is our wedding gonna look like? I don't really want to wear like a wedding dress. I'm not that kind of human. So we had the notion of like, oh fuck, you know what we should do is make our garb for the wedding.
She said that.
And then, so I was like, I'll just make like Jedi style robes, and he made a tunic. We both made cloaks. Fuck, I really want to go get my cloak.
I'll grab it. Mine's easier to get to.
Okay, well, mine is in my room.
I'm actually going to try and get a mannequin so I can put that up in here. Also,
we just need to make a mannequin.
That Stormtrooper helmet I built.
Yeah.
Because I was 500 first for a bit.
Fucking tooting his horn there.
Yeah. If we've got somebody in Star Wars fandom here.
I know. Focus.
Okay.
It won't focus.
I know, because it's on manual focus.
It's a Star Wars.
Because it keeps on focusing on the helmet instead of me.
You weren't invited to the wedding because you were out of town. It was definitely not a personal thing. You were definitely invited. Yeah, ooh woo, his horn be tooted. Yeah, it's kind of unusual it's just unusual that we're doing this right now anyway, because it was supposed to be band stream night, and they're working out some technical difficulties, and Pop had to stop because his stomach was mad. So Pop stopped, and Peter called me when I was at the library, and I answered the phone, and I was like, hello. And he was like, hi. I was like, I'm at the library. So, I can't get up and get it. I'm whispering into the mic, Peter. Why are you? Oh my God. This is he went with the Gray Jedi. We made a couple prototypes of the tunic. He got this really cool belt. We were gonna try and have lightsabers, and my lightsaber didn't. Battery was dead. And mine was, I did have a white dress, but it was white with like blood red tabards and some gold flare, and I had a sand colored cloak, and it popped off really nicely. Very, very nerdy.
Literally the only thing that I purchased that we did not make for this, aside from the boots, was the belt.
Yep.
That's it.
Anyway,
wow.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yes, it was a very great Jedi thing. It's good. It was a lot of fun. I would highly recommend for anybody, because it's like, we didn't go and rent tuxes. I didn't go buy a wedding dress that I was only gonna wear once. And granted, I still have only worn it once, but it's because I needed to like take it in and make it fit a bit better because the dress I made was a little too big. So I am actually the prettiest Jedi ever. Peter is very handsome in his Jedi gray, but it's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you for that statement. But no, Mike, you were very lovely dressed. You and my stepdad wore his Pepe Le Pew love tie, so you dressed up. It was fine. It didn't
point
matter
of
what
the
anybody
wedding
wore.
anyway was that we did not want to go formal.
Yeah, it was.
At all.
We were also getting married in a national park, so a national forest. So you could have worn hiking boots and it would have been fine.
It's like, you just do you. That's the whole point of what we were trying to do for that. It's like we don't care about the formalities. Like, the formalities are there for our friends, and you were there.
Yep, you were there. And
that's
Seamus
the
would have
whole
been
point.
there, but Seamus was busy.
Seamus is out of town.
And was out of town. And so you were there with us in spirit, Seamus, and that's okay. Yeah. It was very small too, because we had to pay for vehicle access into the national park, and we didn't know, like, we had to bring up all the chairs and shit. So we kept it really, really small. And a lot of, like, not to say I don't have many friends, but I only have a handful of people that I invited, and very few of them couldn't make it because they had COVID or whatever. And the reception was a little bit bigger because that was at a park. It was a good time. It was a really good time. There's some weird things that happened, but it was a good time. Like, our landlady's son crashed into our photographer's car, and when we played a show, like, we had Union of None playing at our show, and then we had practiced a song that I sang vocals for, but my headset was going into...
It was just, it was a weird
something
thing.
was wrong, and I
there were
couldn't
some
hear
weird
shit.
driver issues, and it just got a little bit
It
finicky
got a little
on there.
wonky.
But it's still one of the coolest things, like, being able to play it and do all that together. It's been fun.
It's been a year
Fuck.
I love you. ADHD blessings. It's been a year and 5-ish months.
Yeah,
it was
it's been-
September 23rd.
Yeah,
So
it's been about
we've
a
been
year and a half.
together for about 3.
The pictures that are sitting right over here are actually some of them from the wedding. Well,
No.
one of them.
No. None of them
are
are from the wedding. There's some paraphernalia on the wall that were decor that my mother got because she went
We're
on a
working
little
on-
shopping,
yeah.
a Star Wars shopping binge to get all themed things.
And that's part of the thing that I finally set up a Throne account, so I'm working on getting some shelving so we can actually put a few things up in here.
Yeah, time flies. It's been 87 years. We've been together 87
I know, seriously,
years.
Shan, it's been...
Since 1987.
I'm closer to that, but whatever. Shut up.
1987.
1985.
No. But anyway, okay. Reeling us back in on subject
See?
matter. It's gonna be like this. It's fine.
It's gonna be May.
I was talking to Peter about, like, what were we gonna talk about? Because I do better with, like, a little bit of a prompt. And so we were like, hey, let's talk about some stress response stuff. Because I've noticed within myself some very, very specific ADHD reactions. Like, I personally am incredibly rejection sensitive. Like, super duper. And, like, had to look back to elementary school and middle school when we had parent-teacher conferences. I was a good kid. I never,
I hated that so much.
very, very rarely did anything wrong. There was one time I almost got suspended, which is, maybe we'll get to that story.
Probably not.
Probably not. But we would go to parent-teacher conferences, and they'd be like, yeah, Maddie's great. She's, doing really well, does all these things, like, all positive things, and I would just cry. And it's like, I know that that's not exactly a normal reaction. Don't know why. Like, I thrive on positive feedback as an adult. But just recently, like, back in October, I applied for a job that I thought I was incredibly qualified for. I was really excited. I thought I was in the bag. And I got the call that I didn't get that job on my way to work at the pizza shop. And it made for a really bad day. And I called Peter immediately once I got off the phone. I said, hey, I didn't get the job. Hung up, immediately started crying. Pulled myself together in time for work. Had a really, really bad day at work. Mike was there, could attest to that. And I just, like, spent 2 or 3 days kind of reeling from the rejection. And then another round of it when I realized who did get hired. And just a whole nother slate of, I'm better than this person, I thought I was better, I thought I could do this, and I'm terrible, blah, blah, blah. Just the spiral of negative self-talk. Just blah, blah, blah. And I had a job interview today that I thought went really well. And I have done this really interesting thing in my own mental capacity of just making sure that I don't set my expectations high. That way, if I don't get the job, I am not as devastated. It would be a bit of a blow, but I'm really excited about it. And so I'm trying to be like, no, don't be excited. Don't be excited. And then you won't be let down about it. And it's like, it's something that I'm really dealing with. And I've been so anxious the last couple days leading up to this interview, like overthinking, like they gave me 10 interview questions that they were going to ask, and they gave them to me in advance, which is very thoughtful. So I could prepare and over-prepare, and then
I think it's mostly the over-preparing
and then
part.
psych myself out and put it off for a week and a half, and then do it within the last 2 days very quickly. But also, like, working on it for 45 minutes and going, like, I can't do this! And, like, getting up and going somewhere else. And I just look at Peter and go, and
I already knew.
Yep.
I already knew.
Yep.
I knew exactly what was going on there. Like, okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, so...
But it is definitely the trauma response bit of... Well, we had adjusted this to being, like, stress response as the title. But it is definitely...
Oh, nice.
It's tied into trauma response as well. And Stefano is working on that. That actually comes into... That's a very good segue into what I was about to talk to. It comes down to when there are things that we already have considered and we have over-considered so many times because our minds will go into so many different freak-out moments. And with ADHD specifically, we spiral on the negative because we want to prepare for survival mode. And we want to be there and be ready for success in some capacity. Just it's that fight or flight thing. And for people with ADHD, it is very much the fight mentality. It's like, I will find out how to survive and protect and be around. I'm not gonna flee. If I flee, it's going to be for maybe 20 seconds so I can reanalyze and figure out what's going on. So this whole thing that's going on with Albuquerque, as I'm trying to get involved with stuff with Jake and make sure that we're set up and create a plan. Plans are tough for ADHD people. What's worse is that my stress response was that I haven't heard from Jake in a while to figure out what our plan for the future is, because I am ready to plan. And then that freaked me out because I am dealing with all this emotional response from going to that memorial service for Jeremy last week. So here I am thinking, oh my god, did he die too? Which is something that she does all the time. Also, it sounds like Dexter's outside. It sounds like he's yipping.
I'll go do it. I got it.
Because otherwise he would probably be up here, but that sounds like a woof. But that is definitely one of those things that came up. Yep, that's him. Oh, Dexter, buddy. Yep, that's him for sure. He'll be up in a sec. You can say hey to Dexter. But that is one of those things where that was a a combination of trauma and stress response because I've lost so many friends over such a short amount of time. It's like, all right, bro, like, this was the thing, and I needed to do this, and I'm planning on this, so we can actually get out of here. Like, I'm not willing to get stuck. Those little moments legitimately freak me out, and it's not necessarily. It's something that it just comes into play where other people think about life differently than we do, and I was finally ready to start setting up this plan. It's gonna be fine. I know it's gonna be fine, but it just scared the shit out of me. It's like, oh my god, is this dude dead too? Do I have to go to a funeral? It's been a month, and that's weird that I haven't talked to him in a month, you know. But I had to remind myself, no, this is just what happens with the ADHD spiral. You think about the negatives, and those are the ones that bring up that anxiety and lead you to less sleep, which is part of the reason that I've been feeling like shit the past few days, because that's just been internalized, and it does have a physical reaction. Yeah. And there's some additive bits on that from us actually going out and having drinks with people, with me having health issues anyway. That's probably, I mean, it's obviously not a good idea. It's not even a probably, but those are things that finally get lifted, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you feel the reaction, and then you have to remind yourself, don't feel that shit so much. And it's okay. But coming back to that, Stefano, eventually, and we keep on saying next year. We've been saying that for the past several years, but I think legitimately next year.
When it will happen when we are financially able to.
And that's part of the reason that comes down to this whole situation with Jake as well. It's like being able to go down there slowly and do this together, and like
us trying to set a deadline.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Fucking irony.
It's like if you give us the go ahead right now, we will be there tomorrow. We will grab our stuff and we will pack it up as quickly as possible, and we'll get the fuck out. Like,
well, you say that, but my brain goes, ah.
I've jumped so many times that I've landed just fine.
Oh, Seamus, it was Jeremy Rees, Peter's tattoo artist.
Yeah, my tattoo guy.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to find a job that will kind of kick us off in that direction a little bit more fervently.
Also, Lyra says hi.
I know. Lyra. I woo. I woo woo woo.
Oh, I didn't see that part. It
Dexter.
popped up a little bit.
Oh, why you look at me like you're surprised?
I'm just surprised that we both did it at the same time.
Mr. Wild, I have been thinking about that myself as well. And I don't know, there just haven't been a lot of situations lately to say yes to in our lives, which is really curious. Like, the thing about looking for jobs is like you say yes to like yes, I'm gonna go for that job. Yeah. But then also the people have to go, yes, yeah. Yeah, there has to be a mutual yeah. And like I tried, like I had to get my notebook, Peter, because I had to look at my plan. The job that I interviewed for is Plan G. So that's plans A through F that have not panned out since like November. And on that, which is kind of like plan point A, before A, was me just doing science on my own accord. And yesterday, I decided to call environmental health to see if I could continue doing those things, because environmental health are the people who are concerned with air quality. And when you're lighting things on fire in a kiln-like setting, please set me on fire. they don't really like that. They also don't like it when you burn pallet wood because it's been treated. So I was like, I wanted to call and ask, like a good little citizen. And the lady on the other end said, yeah, no, you can't do that. Burning in barrels is strictly prohibited. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, you could like walk away and the embers could be still going, which sounds like what you want to have happen. And I'm like, yeah, that is exactly what I would want to have happen. She's like, also, you're in a neighborhood and you're only on like 0.15 acres, so we really don't want you to set your neighborhood on fire. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
So now we're not DMCA'd, but there you go.
Please set me on fire. Could you not totally derail my train of thought?
No. Why do you think we live together?
Shit's hard.
But no, it is. I think, like the whole idea coming back to you saying Plan G now. It's like
and I have 2 other applications that are pending.
We work hard enough just trying to find a job than we do actually working in the job. Because once we're in the job, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy shit. Like, come on, I can, whatever.
What do you need me to do? I'll do that. Absolutely. You need me to do that? I'll fucking do that. Sure.
And that also comes down to the ADHD thing. It's like master of many, or
jack of
the
all
whole
trades,
jack of all
master
trades
of
thing,
none.
master of none. But like, we
Master
know
of our
so
minds,
many things about so many things. It's like, just throw me to the wolves and let me learn, and I'll figure it out immediately. And it may be for a time, but if it's what you need, then I got you. And then
Grand
it will
Junction.
help me out.
Never been in Denver.
Yeah, fuck Denver. Plain and simple. Like, fuck Denver. Not dealing with Denver. That I just can't. It's too big. The traffic's shitty as hell. Everybody else is just trying to get to work, and that's all. There's so many problems in Denver specifically that I cannot overlook and I can't fix. And that's the problem. It's not a Colorado issue. It's not a state by state issue. It's
not your home right now, Mike. You live here.
You've
lived here for a while.
It's an environmental issue of the states overall. And it's just a symptom of what else is happening across the world. What we need to do is really work within the very basis of humanity and just start from there and recognize that there are so many issues that we need to start from the ground up. But Denver can suck it. It's too expensive. There are too many people going out there trying to just make more money, and they're all just, it's turning into full. I can agree with Damon on this one. Just gentrification, full on gentrification. Like, leave it to the communities to actually support. Like,
is that
fine.
gentrification or just straight up capitalism?
Yeah, well, they're kind of hand in hand when it comes down to it. Gentrification and capitalism come down to, cool, capitalism. You buy this, you're going to make this. That means that we can build this pretty white neighborhood in this downtrodden area that used to be cool for people just going out and spreading art and having fun and supporting their little community. It's like, no, now you've got like Dirty Six in Austin. Like,
I've only been to Austin like once or twice.
On East Austin, like, or East 6th, like Dirty South 6th, where you would go down and find all the cool little venues and find other people that were actually doing their DIY drive-in theater nights, where people would just like put up a projector and just park their cars, and food trucks, and then that happened to be on the outskirts of South by Southwest, and people could still play their music and have fun. Everybody was supported, everybody was just having a good time. Didn't matter. All that particular area now is massive hotels and all corporate. All that shit just got run down to further out. It's like it wasn't 36th. Like it was 36th because we thought it was funny because it was dirty compared to the rest of 6th Street. Like that's it. Like that's all. Like
that made me think of a conversation I had last time I was in Ridgeway. And I was having dinner with my dad and the Burnses, who are a couple whose ranch we live on. And Lady Burns goes, if you hear anything about, places for rent or something, let us know. One of my coworkers is looking for a place to live again. And I was just like, is there anything to rent in Ridgeway? And she just kind of shook her head, because Ridgeway is super rich second homes or retirees, and that's becoming such a, and like the conversation drifted also into the rise.
It's like, how do you all have this money? How do you all have this money?
Well, and there's that, but then there's also this rise of animals being surrendered to shelters too, because there's not enough pet-friendly housing available.
There never will be.
So people have to find housing.
Yeah.
But at the cost of surrendering their pets. Like, they have waiting lists for the shelter up in Ridgeway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's something similar here, because housing is just absurd here.
And that's something that I come back to with all of that too. It's like, why pay into this particular system when we know, and we're not going to get into politics about this, because I know that there's a lot of people that have differing opinions on this. However, I am still going to vehemently say I am a self-proclaimed anarchist. That being said, the reason that I believe that is because there are so many more community aspects that we could be putting our money into. Whatever money is being made, the money that we do not get as people that actually exist in this planet, versus building a hotel. And then you see places here in town that used to be hotels that are being turned into quote-unquote low-income housing. When, in fact, those are more expensive than where we live currently, and they are not pet-friendly. So, where do you cross that line, and where do you draw that line? Like, why? Like, what is the point of the money aspect of this? The reason we have to deal with that is obviously capitalism. This is just a thing that we've known. This is history. That's not even politics at all. That's just learning the world, but understanding how that affects people down the line. And if these people cannot afford anything because it's financially based, you're in the wrong. Like, plain and simple. If you need to support somebody because they actually need access to healthcare, food, education, anything else, and they have to pay to get any of those things, and then in the meantime you want to try and house them and keep them warm, then you have to charge them for that, but you have to make sure that they are not able to have maybe a support animal, and then wait for them to actually get access to a place. It's like, hey, we're all living on the same earth together, including these pets. That is not a political ideal. That is just humanitarianism, and that is just how things work in this world. We should not be doing the things that we're doing in that aspect of charging people money just to exist. That's it. And that's why when I do my streams here, like, you can support us as much as you want. I don't ask for anything out of that, because this is a platform for us to speak our minds. I have that option to say, this is where we speak our minds. We make the rules. But we're here for you to vent as well. And we do not require anything outside of that. We're thankful for you to be here and be a part of this conversation. We don't need anything from you. We just want to make sure that everybody else gets heard. And if we could do something to help somebody else down the line, cool. That's it.
Mr. Wild, are you saying that it was 300,000 pounds to fill up a car? Or 300 pounds? I just don't know enough about pounds. And also, the way we do gas is by the gallon, not by the liter, so I don't know if that computes in my head. But that sounds like the price of something on Grand Tour. That's like a crazy sports car that they would get. That's my only frame of reference for that.
Going back to Agnes, it said she was saying it took almost 2.5 years until she found a job.
God. It's like, it's
exactly, Agnes. We just friends hanging. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's why we're doing the couch sessions, you know? We can talk about anything. Like, literally any topics that you have. And yeah, then it comes back down to ADHD. We'll bring up all kinds of weird shit.
Things.
All kinds of weird shit. Speaking of, look at Rexy.
I'm trying to read the chat, man. I think it's really interesting too, because we've got such a homelessness issue here in Grand Junction as well, and it's all downtown, but like where we live, there's at least 4 or 5 houses available for sale. And it's just like, people can't afford those houses either right now. So, I mean, you can talk about ska if you want. I don't have anything to contribute to that conversation though. I'll just go like this.
Oh wait. I could talk about fucking whatever.
Also, if you
literally
pick it up,
a band.
pick it up.
Literally a band.
When are you gonna put it down?
Literally a band. Oh, Trip, you're fine. Pull up fucking whatever really quick. Okay, because it's
fucking
funny
why?
as hilarious. But literally, Joe texted me the other day.
I actually haven't listened to this. Is this gonna get us DMCA'd or anything?
It's all right. So yeah, so we're just gonna really quick, because I'm not gonna go sit up there and type it out. I just want to read the little discography here. Dope. Anthony Green of Circa Survive, and Adam Lazzara and John Nolan of Taking Back Sunday. Percussion from Benjamin Homila from Group Love. Holy fuck. And literally everything they do is just, they don't have any real instruments. They just do voices and then stomps and whatever things they can find in the house for percussion. And it's awesome. It's so good.
Fast forward to 2020 to with a created need to continue in making release music, they approached the group about releasing some of the recordings. Feeling a similar restlessness, Nolan suggested that they try making recordings for something for real instead. There are 0 instruments on fucking whatever self-titled debut album. It's pretty much 80% mouth noises and 20% Ben slapping things around the house.
But it's really good. I doubt we'll get DMC, but I can at least start with one of these little bits here so you can hear it. It's really, really good.
It's actually really awesome.
It's really cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
It was definitely not what I was expecting from the guys from Circa Survive and Taking Back Sunday. Like, I was not expecting this at all.
Cam, what's going on? What is happening? Oh, my ear. And Stefano got a new mic arm.
Stefano. What kind of mic arm did you get?
Mic arm.
Mic arm.
Mic arm.
So, Skank and Penguins, that's literally called fucking whatever.
Also, Chris Thiele, great band, great guy, wicked mandolin player. I like him. The Thiele artist name's Chris. Yep.
Blue Compass. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know the Compass arms. Those are nice. Do you have feet for those arms, though? Because sometimes you might have to remove them from the stands.
He's got Mike feet.
Do you have the 2 feet?
He's got Mike feet. God damn it.
Oh, man. Goodness gracious.
Another regional manager. Yeah, so, yeah. Let's see. Let me check my notes. See if we can even get close to back on topic. Oh yeah, coping mechanisms. I got stressed out, so I bought one of these again. So, it's come to my attention recently that I have been using the cannabises as a intense coping mechanism to contend with my ADHD, and compounded with working a job for a really long time that it's very second nature, so I could go to work whilst high. And it eased the repetition of that on top of me coming home and having variable schedules. Like, there's a lot of things that I've compounded in the last month that I've had to unpack. And in trying to curb one coping mechanism with another, like I was trying to vape to ease my THC, and then I tried to use my THC to ease my vaping, and then I got off of the vaping and then did a little bit more of the THC dabbling, and then I've been struggling. I've been struggling with a lot of different coping mechanisms, and when you take away the mood stabilizers, Jesus Christ, like, I couldn't hang for about 3 weeks. I was not hanging well. So I have stabilized in some ways and reverted in others, and it's coming around to, like, actually trying some of Peter's nascent medication and seeing what doses of, if those work for me and if they don't. And, really trying to get to a stable place, because the other thing we realized was that the THC for me, although I thought it was like a creative amplifier, I would just call it a chaotic agitator. Because I'd be like, I'm gonna go do all these things.
Good night, Martin.
Oh, good night, Martin.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming out, man.
Bye.
Good to see you. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Thanks for sticking by.
Yeah, so I've just been trying to figure some shit out in terms of what I actually need to do, and just being comfortable in my brain is not something I'm good at right now.
And it is definitely one of those things that we were talking about with like how we view it is one of those nature versus nurture kind of things, right? So part of the reason that I'm still so behind on putting together this vlog from our trip to Costa Rica is because I know that there's a lot that I don't necessarily understand quite yet about DaVinci and video editing. I'm still working on that, and that's still very much in the forefront of my mind. But I'm going to try and work on little bits of that. But removing that aspect of it and just being present in a place where I wasn't so overwhelmed with I need to do this and need to do this, that also reflects on, could you do this? Like, I can't do this right now. Like, I literally cannot. I need to have a space where I am peaceful and I can actually, like, focus and I can do the things that I need to do. It is a nature versus nurture thing. Down there, I felt so much more at peace in a way that it legitimately lifted my ADHD tendencies to such a level where I was like, oh yeah, there's so much more to explore, but I'm not stressed about it because I could actually feel in the moment what was going to happen and be comfortable with it, because I was stressed going down, but I felt okay there.
Yeah.
And it is
enough.
it's just the right amount of this is my environment, this is fine. And if I need to, I don't need to say that I need a couple days off. Like, I don't, there's that whole need. And it's like, no. I don't need that. I want this. And I want something different. The difference is the lack of need. And that's the whole nature versus nurture thing that comes up. It's like, we live in an environment where we have been nurtured, we have been driven to this point where we need this thing. I don't really agree with us needing this thing. We want something else. That is the thing that we need. That's the thing that we crave. Those are the things that we want and actually need to exist in. We don't need to do this. So, could you do this instead?
That's
sure.
the capitalistic pressure of... It's hard to say if that's nurture per se. Like, the idea of nature versus nurture in terms of ADHD, there's also the element of environment. And, like...
It's also the idea that comes up from how we've been raised religiously.
That too. I mean, there's
the nature versus nurture part.
I still would call that. That's part of the nurture, but I would equate some of that to the environment, because it is like,
yeah,
we're in America, Christian dominant America, with capitalistic slaps all the time, and if we grew up in an anarchistic society where we, you work together as a community to create the food that you need, as opposed to, hey, we're out of food, we got to go to the store. Like, I see
right.
so much
but
of
I can't
that
get the food
mess.
right now because I can't afford it, so I got to go to work tomorrow instead.
Yeah,
and actually afford
and it's like,
that.
well, I have to pay insurance on the 1st,
yeah.
So we might have to forego XYZ in order to pay for that, or we got to pay rent, and then it's been winter, so the electric bill's really high. It's just like, it's the money. When really, if you try to look at life and existing without the context of money, it looks so different. Yeah. And that was kind of the cool thing about
culture
Costa
shock
Rica.
about going down there. It's like,
well,
like we understand the fact that, yeah, there's still a money-based society no matter where you go in the world, unless you go really, really deep. But
the cost of being in Costa Rica was pretty close, as a tourist, was really close to just, like, the meals were about the same. We stayed in some Airbnbs, and those
they
were
relatively lower.
Well,
like, we went down for 10 days. Yeah, we had some expenditures.
All considered, like, we budgeted really well, but it was still an expensive trip when it comes down to it. Like, we didn't do it the cheapest way we possibly could.
And that's the thing. We didn't do it the cheapest way that we possibly could. We got away with doing it in a relatively...
I'd say middle. It was mid.
We did a relatively affordable thing for going across the continent with flights, Airbnbs, rental cars, Michelin star dining, cooking at home.
Michelin star dining
well,
once.
Still, that cannot be completely disregarded, and being able to go on adventures for a pretty significant, oh my god,
exorbitant
words, insignificant amount of money that we would need to just exist here. However, if we were to do that here in the States, 10 days doing all of those same things. Flying across the globe, or across the country,
Yeah,
which is
bigger
than Costa Rica
say we
already.
went to New York.
And then drove from New York down to an equitable amount of
It's only
of
120
travel.
miles.
So an equitable amount from New York down to
North Carolina.
West Virginia, let's say.
West Virginia!
And then try and find a place out there to go and visit and maybe do something along those lines. That would have been eaten up just over flight costs within the first couple days. Because we would not be able to find an Airbnb. We would not be able to find a hotel. We definitely wouldn't be able to go see the New York Phil in the same time that we want to go out.
Mm.
So we would be basically overfunded within about 5 days.
Overfunded, you mean overdrawn?
Overfunded. Or overdrawn, yes.
Yeah.
But
Like we would
have lost
up
all
a
of that
creek
money.
without a paddle.
And then we would have to find out how to get that car back up, plus all the rental costs and rental fees that we would need to deal with here in the States.
Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't have any rainforest. We wouldn't have had howler monkeys.
We would have been dealing with
there wouldn't have been giant orb-weaving spiders.
Traffic.
We wouldn't have seen the we would have
most,
seen the ocean,
we
but it
probably
wouldn't have been
would
pretty
have been
beaches.
spending more of our money just on trying to get an Uber 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
And like with all the research that I already did, average median cost is a third of what our average median is here, just for cost of living. And
they have universal health care
within 90 days.
That's the other thing too. It's like let's not dive into the healthcare discussion. Oh my god, I don't want to. But it's like when it comes down to it, I don't want to become a millionaire. I don't want to become a billionaire. I just want enough to get by to make things happen, and any excess of beyond that goes to help other people. Like that's kind of the added element of stress to the ADHD right now is looking at where our society is locally, looking where our country is nationally, and then looking at the state
even
of our
internationally.
planet.
Holy fuck.
Well, and then you go globally and you look at what the fuck's going on. And it's like, I do not feel like I have any power whatsoever to make any change to anybody else's life who is suffering right now. And it's not to say that I'm suffering overtly. I've got some stress, but I'm not suffering. And I cannot invite somebody with mental health issues into my home to make sure that they have a safe place to be for one night, because that's fraught with problems. But I also can't make sure that a terribly immoral person becomes president again. I have no power in that.
Right.
It's just, and like, what can I possibly do to help the situation in Gaza? Like, I don't like to think myself as powerless, but in those particular circumstances, I am absolutely powerless. I have no ability to affect change other than just existing and trying to see things as they are and not turn a blind eye. This is probably so hard.
Where I probably should have said I should just continue to not pay taxes because, but I can't.
Land of opportunity for children of rich white people. I mean, or middle class white people. I don't know.
But
Anyway, doom and gloom and problems. I would like things to be better. And I would very much like to go elsewhere when finances and time allow, and we will. That was actually one of the reasons why I didn't get one of the jobs I applied for, because I said we were going to be moving. And they were like, well, you have to get some certifications, and they want to make sure that's a good investment and that you're going to stick around, so we didn't go with you. It's like, fuck. I was a top candidate, too. It's just like, damn it, why did I say anything? Because it was truth, and it was like, yeah, I do want to move, you know? I would like it to be sooner. In reality, it probably will be a year, maybe 2. Like, I don't want it to be that long, but we've also got family that needs some help as well. So
yeah. And that's the biggest thing for us right now. So we'll be okay.
Dude, that sounds dope, Wild. Yeah, meanwhile, Brian Adams is not eating fish by the shack. I had an experience not even similar to that, but it's in the same vein when I got to go to Thailand about 4 years ago now at this point. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of
Wow.
crazy, right? Holy.
Everybody, I went on a volunteer trip, and everybody in the volunteer trip was like much younger than me by a good 5, 6, 7 years, and everybody went to bed. And I stayed up because we had done this thing where we wove little baskets, and I was sitting by the fire reinforcing the rim of my basket because I was intending to use it through the entire trip. So I was like adding a strap so I could sling it over my shoulder, and I was reinforcing the rim so the strap wouldn't rip it out. And it had a bunch of little like fibers that were coming off, so I just kind of started gently catching those on fire near the fire and kind of just turning it about. And one of the Thai guys was just like, "How did you know to do that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you're like curing the smoke with it, you know?" And I was like, "I didn't know that, but that's what I was doing."
What were you doing?
I was No,
All right,
I was not
fine,
setting my basket on fire. I mean, I was.
I'm gonna have to make that a soundbite. So
You're gonna
I can just...
have to. You're gonna have to now. But meanwhile, while I was sitting there just like tending to my basket, all of the Thai guys were just hanging out. There was one guy who was playing guitar, and they were just
Try guys?
no Thai guys.
Keith?
The Thai guys. No, it was
tell me-
Piu. Piu was playing.
You didn't
the
tell me
guitar.
that you met Keith.
I didn't. I met Piu and fuck, I forget the names of the other guys. Tony was one of them. His American name. But we were just hanging out, and just happy little clam. Yeah.
Hello?
That's you. Your volume is up.
What? No.
What did you do? Oh, we got feedback coming through.
Hello?
Nee.
Oh.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
Problems. It's fine.
Hello?
Anyway. All right. Good night, Mike. Thanks for popping in. I'll see you maybe on the transition of shifts tomorrow. Sleep well.
No, it's still not okay.
All right. Good night, Mike. Thanks for popping in. Is that coming from
Everything's-
that?
Is your phone on?
Maybe on the transition of shifts. No, I mean, its volume is off. There's no reason it would be coming through these.
There's no reason it's coming through here because I've already. There's nothing. The Twitch app on this end is completely gone.
Wah.
It wouldn't be coming through there. I know it's not coming through there.
I just
whatever.
shut mine down. All my shit's off.
All right, well.
Oh no, we're gonna get speech jammed. Oh no.
Yeah, well, no, probably not because everything else is coming through here pretty consistently.
Seamus, are you still there? If you are, tell us how you're doing, because it's been a minute. Oh no, we're gonna get speech jammed. Oh no.
So yeah, like there's no reason. Because everything else is coming through here pretty consistently.
Seamus, are you
There's
Are you
literally
guys-
no
are
reason
you
that
guys
any of
hearing
this should be
that?
coming through.
Is that just us?
That's all muted. That's all muted.
Oh, okay. You're slaying some deems. Slay them deems. That seemed to fix something.
Oh,
What did you do?
I know what it was.
What'd you do?
We had a little bit of a skip here, and Live Space popped up. And Live Space decided to go ahead and continue doing its restream thing.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Live Space. All right, Live Space. Good job. Joshua Roo. Good to see you, buddy.
Joshua Roo, senor.
Definitely having the ball.
Una pelota para mi dedos. No, dedos del pie. The toes of the feet. The fingers of the feet.
Finger feet. Fingers.
Feet fingers. Dedo del pie. Pita. We are having a ball. What's up with you, Joshua Roo? How you do, Joshua Roo? Good gravy.
I didn't make any gravy tonight.
No, it's funny because I found 2 more packets of gravy. Well, welcome to the unwind and
Packets of
decompression.
gravy?
Multiple packets of gravy. 2 packages of gravy.
I'll just make them from scratch.
We're chilling and decompressing and trying to wrangle our ADHD with 2 people on a couch.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going well. Is it going well? I think it's going kind of well.
Seems like it's.
I'm trying so hard to not be derailed by her word associations.
Well, that's kind of the thing that I love about doing moments like this too. It's like, let's showcase it because we are very weird.
We are very weird,
but in a fun way. And there's so many things that we can do just with having prompts through the chat. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, what about this thing?
Squirrel.
Da-da, what about squirrels?
Squirrel.
Oh.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you.
Oh.
Any song where they say girl a lot, you always replace it with squirrel. I guess you'd say, what could make me feel this way? My squirrel, my squirrel, my squirrel,
talking about my squirrels,
my squirrel.
All right, hey squirrel, hey.
Why won't Mike Tyson ever own a PlayStation? Is it? I'm waiting. I'm so ready.
Is this gonna be a Crash Bandicoot joke?
No, it's. Oh, okay.
All right. That's good. That's decent.
I thought that was gonna go a number of different ways. You're doing Crash Bandicoot right now?
Dude, don't tempt me.
Also.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
Also, Peter.
I don't have a PlayStation anymore, but I could probably get an emulator.
Also.
I know.
Also, Peter.
Crash Team Racing is better.
I need you to make.
No, hold on. Crash Team Racing is better than Mario Kart.
How dare you?
It's true! It's true! Crash Team Racing is better than Mario Kart. Fight me.
Can't say I ever played that. But I had the notion, how would you feel about making a strawberry pie?
I'm not a big fan of strawberries.
What about the kind that's made of metal that contains games? Is raspberry pie? What is it called? The little hard drive that you can fucking put games on?
Oh, the Raspberry Pie?
Raspberry pie. So you liked raspberries then?
I mean,
You
I
prefer
do like,
a raspberry pie?
I do.
Because that silly little, and that little Nintendo you got.
I did, Josh, and I will. I will die on this hill.
No, you won't. You haven't had a PlayStation in so long. Like, it's such a stance to take. But I think it'd be...
Also, Emperor's New Groove game was fucking tits.
No, don't leave.
It was so good, man. The Emperor's New Groove game on PlayStation 1 was awesome.
There was also a really fantastic
Crash
Jurassic
Team Racing
Park.
is fucking rad.
There was a Jurassic Park game that was really fantastic, and that was when they were fucking with the DreamWorks logo.
Yeah.
And they made it so the little guy sits on the moon and throws off the fish.
Yeah.
But they had it tugged on the line and went and he got all excited, and a Velociraptor pulled him down.
There was one
Love
where the old school Medal of Honor game, the first Medal of Honor game on PlayStation, same thing, cast out his line, got caught, and then he decided to go ahead and jump off the moon and parachute in, and then his parachute got caught on the edge of the moon.
I love that shit.
Oh, that was so much fun. Like old school games like that for PlayStation 1, when DreamWorks was actually working with those games, those were cool. Like, I dig finding games like that just give you some of those. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid as well. The old Medal of Honor was fun, and back in the day where you had to go and get a fucking thick book. It's like, what are the cheat codes? And go to Cheat Code Central, and it's like, all right, cool, just add all these in here. Now you got wireframe mode. It was just basically like dev options that you can find now. I love finding those kinds of things. Like, I don't want the new Call of Duty kind of nonsense anymore. That shit. Game Shark, yeah, the Game Shark. There was also that little chat input thing that you could throw in there that was basically a soundboard that you would put on the bottom of your controller when you were actually talking to people, and you just hit a couple sound bites. Like, goofy shit. Game Sharks were fun.
I need to look that up because I've never seen one of those. Game Shark. Game Sharks.
Game Shark.
Game Sharks.
The Game Shark. Old school Game Sharks, yeah. Dude, Josh, I used to play some fun games back in the day, but I forget what that little chat thing was. But you could actually do like a 3-second voice recording on it for like 1 or 2 slots, and then everything else was pre-programmed. And then you could get like little additions and toss in different voice inputs. But it was just fun to mess around and like just troll your friends when we finally had access to voice chat. It was like back in the, what was that third party, the third party controller manufacturers that don't exist anymore, but I don't even remember what they were.
I had an N64.
Like what was it? The old with a Sega Genesis, you had those little memory card things that you could throw in there that actually would take the game with you, and then you could just play the game virtually on that, and then save your progress, and then pop it back in.
Oh, that's neat.
No, it was Dreamcast, not Genesis. It was Dreamcast. I never had an N64. Yeah, the old Dreamcast.
I never had a Dreamcast, but I had a friend, and we would
was
go
like
over...
a couple houses up the road from.
Yeah.
When I was living up the Redlands.
The game that we played the most, like there was what was it? Oh fuck, what was it called?
I did Unreal Tournament all the time. Oh yeah, Twisted Metal. Oh,
yeah,
I did Twisted Metal all the time back on.
Metal, and then
I did Twisted Metal back when I was still living in California.
Oh wow.
Like, that was way back.
Well, it was Twisted Metal, and then there was actually a Spawn video game, and that one, and Sonic, yeah, like those, the Spawn, we would just do boss battle rounds, and just fucking.
Oh, dude, Josh, I haven't played any of those in so long. I'm glad that there's a lot more emulation happening, where I will probably find some more of those emulated games. A lot of those have been coming up recently, where you can actually still emulate now on PC. But there's like the one that I'm still really pissed off that I can't get to work. I'm gonna see if there's a couple patches and maybe try and update it again. Was the original Prototype game, and like I remember when that was first announced, and it flopped because somebody else took it over, and then didn't make it the way that it was envisioned, because the original trailers were built out to be so big. Oh, Shamies, you're all good, man. But Prototype originally was one of those first, like, slightly open world games that I really got a chance to play, and that's when she and I were first dating. back in college.
It's true.
And like, you gotta play this game. It's so much fun.
I was thinking about
But
that.
it got to that point where it's like, all right, now we're just getting to the repetitive motion bit. Like, we found that limitation of what the new developers had done, and that's what I really like about games like Assassin's Creed and Uncharted. Like, it is still open world. You can still level up your abilities and choose, and then just kind of go and explore a bit. It's still a little bit battle based. The new Spider-Man specifically is also really good at that. I haven't played any of that, but that's all rooted in prototype. And the first prototype was so fucking good for what it was meant to bring out to the masses in that world. But there were so many limitations there. You couldn't really do exactly what it was supposed to do.
That's why I wonder if you can make.
And I don't know Smash at all.
Could you figure out how we could do Super Smash with the kids? Because that would be fan-fucking-tastic. I want an N64 again so bad.
I do too, but
like,
god damn, they're expensive.
I think I had, which is absurd.
They're so stupid expensive.
Absurd. But like, I think I had 7 games. But I just played the ever-loving shit out of all of them.
That was definitely of the GoldenEye era on that one. I played the first Doom on PC when I was still living in California.
I love Super Smash. I played the ever-loving shit out of that one.
She does. I don't know. I don't know a lick of Smash.
So much Smash. And then I didn't have a GameCube, so I only got to play that over at friends' houses. And then I haven't had a Wii, I had a Wii for a minute before I left for college. So that's the thing. I want an emulator, and just to be able to play
a retro pie would be so much fun.
All of the Super Smashes would be so fun. Like the break the targets, the board the platforms, like that sort of shit. Duke Nukem.
Damn it! I've been banned from Dave & Buster's. I want to try and find. There's another boomer shooter that came out recently. That's kind of along the lines of Doom. I love that because it's so fast paced. When I first played it,
I can barely keep up with that shit.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when I first started playing it, when I first downloaded it, I wanted to because I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I love it, and I got so frustrated because it was one of the first 3 or 5 games that I had played on mouse and keyboard, and it's so fast paced. And I had to take a minute, play some other games, get my hands into where they should be, and figure out exactly how to navigate the maps and understand the mechanics of it. And once I got it, I was like, all right, I'm in it. This is fucking rad. But there's one specifically, and I was just reminded about that today. There's one. What is it? It's
I hashtag IDK.
Hold on. It's there's one specifically that actually incorporates music beats. So you have to. It's not Wolfenstein. It's along those lines. It's like kind of like Ultra Kill, and it's a Metal Hellsinger.
Metal.
It's a rhythm game that's in the same vein as Doom Eternal, but the whole thing is that you have to work within your dodges and your firing and everything based on the music.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
So you have to really time yourself into the game and just be there. It's very Doom Eternal. It's very metal. But if you land your shots on beat, you get more points, more damage. Like, that sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That is me for sure. Also, just goofing around and doing some more mods and Lethal Company because I've only played a couple rounds of that, and it's still absolutely hilarious.
Get down with the sickness.
No.
You just did. Yeah. Yeah. Precisely.
Metal Hellsinger.
Ah, Metal Hellsinger. See if you can find it.
Yeah, well, I'm actually working on it. But
Yeah.
the whole thing is the little thing here is an FPS with a musical twist. To increase damage output and survivability, players have to time their attacks and dodges to the beat of the level's music. The better a player does, the more instruments accompany the music until a fully heavy metal band blasts from TV or computer speakers.
That's awesome.
Not only is Metal Hellsinger challenging, especially for anyone aiming for a high score, but there's something just cathartic about hearing a shotgun unload to the beat of a head-banging worthy song.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Like that might be the next game that I put up. And overwhelming positive 96% on Steam. And
All right. Well, we'll get there.
yeah, we'll get there. It's $12, but yeah, that's definitely a game that I want to play because that looks absolutely amazing. Diving in, and it looks just as good as Doom Eternal. So, literally just adding Doom Eternal with musical mechanics.
Awesome.
Well, y'all, I think for tonight we will go ahead and say goodnight. And
Just a little refresh to
just
check
a
the
double check,
settings and
because it's been kind of a complicated situation for us doing stuff with the band, and for all of you that have been hanging out, obviously you know that we've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Still working on just quirks, and we're getting there, and I just kind of want to double check on some of the stuff here, so when I know that I'm back here in my little area, things are fine, and when I go over there, things are fine. So it's been a back and forth. So just wanted to double check and see and let you know in on some secrets here and just say
secrets.
hi. Yeah.
Secrets. Have fun playing Diablo 4. Give Lyra some good love for us.
Yeah. Give her some big old cuddles.
I hope you continue to unwind and have a chill night, Joshua. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you again next time.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon.
Sweet.
And please keep in touch on Discord. We will be trying our best to keep on top of that. Mostly me, just because
That's you. That's your
yeah,
stuff.
that's the one thing
I'm
that
here
I'm
sometimes.
kind of conscripted onto doing that, because I don't really know if Drew or Jeff even still have access to that, which is why it's usually just me posting in the band Discord. And I'm still trying to figure out the password for the band Discord. Don't know where that went off to. I didn't even set that up. I just gave them access, and now the password's gone.
Gone.
But
G-O-N. Gone.
G-O-N. But outside of that, thank you so much for hanging out and letting us have a moment to just kick it on the couch and just be goofy and run with some of these prompts, because that was one of the things that I had said before. It's like, we don't necessarily need prompts. We can go off with conversations, just go down a rabbit hole. As long as you're okay with us having rabbit hole moments, we will do that. But we will have prompts and a little bit more structured stuff coming up pretty soon. Also, that being said, I do have a throne set up for us on this channel here, and also for the band channel. So if you want to check any of those out, those items that I have set up in the list are specifically designed for what we'd like to be doing on stream. Things like, you know, maybe some weird snacks that we could get, or lens equipment that we might need to use for upcoming streams in public, like with other people, and just couple things. So please, if you don't mind, go check out the throne now that we've spent pretty much everything that we've got for the band stream setup, we have pretty much gone down to 0, and we're trying to get everything back up and running. So this is stuff for down the line, but if there's anything that you see in there that you might be willing to donate towards us getting into a better position for more high quality streams and fun things that you might all like to enjoy, please go check out the link, and we'll keep on working on some stuff. But love y'all. You know we do. And I guess yeah, well, very much down the line, hopefully. But again, much love. Stay safe, stay alive. Pinkies up. And we will talk to you all soon, okay? Have a good night.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.